Oh boy. Here we go, recording again. So, real quick, this is going to be the, hopefully, last part until we get to level 60 and we can start really seeing how we can handle, being damn near naked while running around in Diablo Hardcore. This is part of the Hardcore Solo Self-Found event that is happening right now for Season 11, which is a community event that actually has the support of Blizzard. Quite happy about that. It's really cool to see that someone at Blizzard is recognizing the community. So, the rules. Real quick, real easy. Number one, no dying, which is the hardcore part. If we die, we have to start over. Although if we start over with the same class, our points will transfer over. There is a point system that's in the document down below. Number two is no grouping. That's the solo part. Now, it's okay if we run across randos out in the overworld and they happen to help us just by their mere presence. Can't really avoid that. That's not a problem. We're not allowed to join a group, and we're not allowed to solicit assistance. Not sure if that's detailed down in the document or not, but yeah. Number three, no trading. That's the self-found part of it. That one's pretty easy for me because I haven't. The only trading I've done is among friends on my other characters, and none of my friends play hardcore, so it's not like I even have the opportunity, but I wouldn't anyway. I actually really like doing solo self-found on my own time. I haven't yet to really crack into it on Diablo 4, but it is something I enjoy, so not a big deal for me. And then number four, my own rule is that we don't get clothes. And by clothes, I mean no armor, no gauntlets, no pants, and no boots. I allowed a hat because I was worried that we would absolutely need a shield for armor in the late game. And I wanted to make sure that I still had access to rune words because I thought that that would, be kind of silly if I couldn't use the rune words, so I allowed myself a hat. If you want to argue that I shouldn't be using a hat, I would argue back. If you saw someone walking on the street only wearing a hat, pretty sure you would call them naked. So, naked time. Alright, let's get to it. And as I mentioned earlier, the full description of the rules are down in the description. So here we have our hero, Hobone Kitime, or Hobo Naked Time. The hobo part is part of the tag, so if you're running around and you see some hobos out in the wild, now you'll know why. What is going on down here? This shouldn't be there. Oh, I gotta close that. There we go. Yeah, I redid my OBS, so we won't have the taskbar at the top and bottom. I know that really bothers some people, and it bothered me too, so I finally got around to fixing that. And yeah, we're ready to go. So like I said, today we're almost to level 60. Hoping to get these last few levels and not die. I'm really paranoid because things get kind of spicy from 50 to 60. The enemies scale a lot faster. Oh, I also, after logging out, was running over my build with a friend, just showing off more than anything, and it occurred to me that while our gear is quite nice, we have this scythe which is 13 levels old but still kicking because it got 300 extra intelligence on it, which is wild. It's the majority of well, not the majority of my damage. My damage is spread pretty wide, which is fantastic, but it is a huge chunk of my damage because you can see when I take it off we drop down to 76 intelligence, which is only 9.5%, but with it we're at 53%. Also, since it came with 2 sockets, we've got basically indefinite critical plus 25, and since we have such limited gear, our base crit strike chance is only 6%. So this bringing it up to 31% means we crit far more often and get that extra 50%. I wish we had a little bit more critical strike damage, but that's fine. Our damage, we only have so many items and our damage is spread quite thin. Oh, speaking of intelligence though, it also does a great job of improving our resistances. Also, sorry for the lag. It's just something that we constantly have to go through here. Oh, you know what? Hold on, I left Chrome open, so this part really is on my end. Let me just close that real quick. Go away. We don't need you. Of course, nothing wants to work right when I'm running things. Yeah, I'm starting to think more and more that a good portion of the lag is actually on my end. I know part of it is between myself, Verizon, and why did you open back up? God, I hate Chrome. I need to get rid of Chrome. I actually want to get rid of Windows, which will probably solve my problem. I'm going to be switching over to Linux soon, as well as a different browser, because Chrome is just a resource hog at this point. It's kind of hilarious. So I moved to Firefox forever ago, and we're talking like 20 years ago. 20 years ago? May have been 20 years ago, maybe a little less, but not much less, because Internet Explorer had become so terrible, and then Firefox became terrible, because what they keep doing is as they become popular, they start adding more features which take more RAM, and then they become the thing that they swore to destroy. And the same exact thing happened with Google Chrome. It was amazing when it debuted, and now it has become just as bloated and terrible as all the other things. It's really depressing. Anywho, our resistances, you can see they take quite a sharp dip when we take the scythe off, and that is because you get a big boost to your resistances from intelligence as well when you're playing an intelligence-based class. So that's quite nice. Very much enjoying that. Our hat, we found this at the end of the last episode. I mean, that flat 21 damage reduction is a godsend. We were starting to take damage. We had, at the start of the game, we were a little in like a rough patch. But then when we started getting legendary gear through level 20 to like around 40, just before 40, we were doing really well. But then we were doing some Duriel fights and we almost died. We've had 2 instances of that. I think there was one time in the first episode where we almost died, and then this last episode we almost died. And then we found this hat. And since I found this hat, I've not had any near-death experiences. I'm pretty sure both of those near-death experiences were caused by poison, which is why the only socket I have has an emerald in it right now. Although, to be honest, it's only a 10% damage reduction, which is nice, but I really need to get better gemstones. We're level 44 and we're still using I forget what level they are. What level are they? Level 15 gemstones, but we cannot use the jeweler. I haven't brought this up, but part of the event is that we're not allowed to use the NPCs in town. So hopefully we'll find some better gemstones. And I had a question last episode about salvaging at the jeweler, but salvaging period is okay. And every question I've asked has basically gone back to like, well, we clearly wrote it in the rules. Like I asked about mercenary bartering and they're like, well, no, bartering is one of the rules. It's bartering period. So salvaging period is allowed. So I'm going to go and scrap the chipped stones just to free up some inventory space. I'll hold on to the other ones simply because we don't have any other replacements for them, but as soon as we start getting some of the other ones, I'll get rid of these as well. Oh, I forgot to look this up, the scroll of escape. Well, I'll look that up later. Anyway, back to the gear. Our necklace. We found an undying necklace. Very happy about that. Undying is fantastic, obviously, and we got a max roll on the aspect, which is really nice. So as long as we're spamming our skills, we do a good job of remaining healthy. It also gives us a little bit of lucky hit chance, which we are utilizing lucky hit. We have some from our main build as well. So our lucky hit chance, so where's it at right now? Yeah, it's at 21%, which is amazing. We got between the 21% lucky hit and the effective 30 crit chance. We don't really have a great crit lucky hit, But as far as one or the other, we're doing okay. You know, considering we're not wearing armor, gloves, pants, or boots. But yeah, we got this nice amulet here, and it got sanctified for +1 all skills, which is all right. It's yeah. I would have preferred something like 300 more intelligence, or maybe a boost to armor, but it got it, something. We then also have this Ring of Inner Calm, which is quite nice. It also comes with some damage boost and some vulnerable damage boost, which is great. I like that it has both of those because that increases our damage a lot more. Plus it has the aspect itself increasing our damage. It's not a great roll, but I've yet to find a ring to really replace it. I would need to find something that provides more damage, or at this point, as we approach 60, it's probably going to be more important to switch for just to have more resistances. Then we also have a Ring of the Sacrilegious Soul. We actually ended up getting 2 of these to drop. The other one was not as good, so I did not keep it. I had only been utilizing this for the automatic raised skeletons to keep my lads healthy, and the movement speed bonus that it provides, which is it's a max roll on the movement speed. It's got a max roll on most of the affixes. It just sadly does not have good rolls on the aspects. I hadn't really thought about it, but this is probably going to be something that I might even want to look for farming a better one once we get to the part where we're fighting bosses and farming. I may even go into this corpse style as opposed to my normal, what I was thinking of doing, which was going for focusing on the summons. Not sure. I probably will still end up going on the summons, but for now, since we have this, I want to utilize it. I should also point out that we're only allowed to use 1 unique item, and we're not allowed to use any mythic items. If we get sanctified mythic, we can use it, but we're not allowed to use mythic items otherwise. And only 1 unique item. So this is our 1 unique item. I've only actually found, I think, the only other item that I found that was unique that I could use, because I think I found some boots or pants or gloves or something. I found some other uniques, but they weren't relevant. I found 2 of these rings, and like I said, the other one wasn't that great, so we got rid of it. I'm pretty sure I didn't stash it. So I have been stashing things for our little trophy case. We found this cursed item on like day 1 or 2, or well, part 1 or 2. It was both on day 1. This was our first legendary amulet and our first legendary weapon. I wish I had saved my first legendary hat, but I forgot it. I wish I had also saved the first legendary I found, because almost right after walking out of town, before we even hit level 10, we found a goblin, but it dropped pants. And we are not on the quest for pants, we are on the quest for hats. Anywho, so yeah, I was working with my friend, and I kind of figured a different build that I like quite more than what I've got going on. And that is to use Corpse Explosion and Corpse Tendrils to take full advantage of the ring, because we can just spam fire most of these spells to trigger the casting 5 spells. We always basically have something to do. I don't really need to have, like, Bone Splinters isn't really dealing damage. Almost all of my damage is best utilized by my summons, because they have additional compounding summon damage from my skills mostly, I believe. Yeah, from the, we have our just flat summon damage, which I don't know where that's coming from. Is that coming from something in here? Yeah, from our scythe, we get 10% damage boost. And then from our skills, we get damage boosts with the warrior and the mages. I think there's a summon node that I haven't really been taking, and we're going to be doing a little bit of rebuilding anyway. One second, I'm going to take some water. Okay, so this is just not triggering while we're in town. Excuse me. Some of these skills only activate when you go outside of town. Let's go into the training room so we can get a better overview of our stuff. Oh, I forgot to snap a picture of that. I'm trying to get a picture of that loading screen so that picture can replace what I've got going on. So you can see here, like, I mean, these numbers are small, yeah, but they're pretty good for us. And that's the important thing. Yeah, look at that. Our damage with the mages and the warriors jumps. Our summon damage jumps. So our lads are quite a bit of our damage. I like how we're getting covered in blood even though we're just fighting a training dummy. Now I need to figure out where we're going to take some skills from, because most of the things I have slotted, what did I end up taking? I think I pulled, I think I was considering decompose, but then I decided against it. How did I work this out? Because I want to keep decrepify. I think I just pulled, oh. Well, I'm not going to be using a basic skill for a little while. Alright, well, if I need another node, let's go ahead and take the huge flesh. We get a chance to, tiny chance to spawn a corpse whenever we lucky hit. Oh, it did happen just now though, so I guess it's not, I mean, well, with the lads all swinging, let's see how quick it happens again. Yeah, tiny chance. Maybe I'll level up that some more if I can find the extra skills. Don't want to get rid of necrotic fortitude or spiked armor at all. I'm going to keep our skeleton warriors up. We only have one actual rank in that. Deal increased damage after consuming a corpse. I could drop that by 1 because our damage is already pretty good. Okay, so it has happened quite a little bit. When the corpse is scored by skills, minions fortify. Oh, I can get rid of these. Serration and the evulsion. Is it evulsion? Yeah, evulsion. And keep all this. So we got 3 more points. Just because I want to actually get some ranks. Increase the corpse explosion. Corpse explosion radius. Does increase damage to enemies that are slowed, stunned, or vulnerable. These bonuses can stack. We do those things. Well, we do the vulnerable for sure. Don't think we stun or much else. This will probably be what I get. The next ones are slowed. There we go. By 50% before being pulled. Corpse centrals have a chance to drop a blood orb. Enemies damage before centrals are made vulnerable. That'll be nice. So yeah, we'll get those with our next 3 levels. But I'm not going to stress it, right? Oh, we're not using the bone spear anymore. There's our 3 skills. Fantastic. Right, boom, boom. And what was it? Vulnerable. Yeah. Don't really care about the blood orbs. Alright. So we are good to go now. Sorry for that prolonged intro. But, I'm doing it more for myself than anything. I took Sunday off, so the last time I played was actually Saturday, and this being Monday. Alright, I'm a little nervous about going back to run around Helltide. Oh, these items in my inventory. I'm holding on to them because I'm considering if I need to switch over to get more defenses. You know what? I think I'm going to run my tributes because I feel like that'll be a little bit safer than running around the Helltide, because the Helltide is where I almost experienced my last death. And we have quite a few tributes laying around. Oh, how much Whisper do we have real quick? Doesn't look like we have any. Okay, world boss in 26 minutes. Probably go... Yeah, I don't think I want to go to those right now. I want to wait until we get more sturdy. Let's go fight Andy. And we are hunting for replacement jewelry, I think, more than anything. Especially because we only have 1 armor slot, 1 weapon slot. Or, I mean, we do have 2 weapon slots, but it's going to be really hard to replace the scythe. And then, but we have 3 jewelry slots, 2 of which we could potentially replace. So I'm going to go for more jewelry. Second guessing myself because I mean, I have to acknowledge the fact that my scythe is level 31, but the damage affixes on it alone scale me so high. But we are approaching, as we approach 50, we're going to want to find another weapon though. But right now, I think for this specific run against Andy, we will be fine. We'll go for jewelry. So I really want to replace that inner column ring. The damage boost from it is nice, but it's not exceptional. And just like to get something with more resistances. Alright, let's look at the... Yeah, it's a pretty straight shot, so we'll just go. Oh, I gotta be careful. Got corpse explosion there. Oh, you know what I'll do? Oh, I can't change it now. I'm gonna put Decrepify on 3. I think that's what I actually had planned. So we have a really passive build right now, which I'm not a huge fan of. I like being far more active in my combat. Oh, you little bastard. It's too late. He caught me right before I cast. I love having the lads help me with the cooldown. It's my favorite thing about them. All this extra time. Need to remember it's right click to corpse explosion right now. Keep trying to left click. I like the spam factor of corpse explosion. It's quite nice. I've not used it before. Well, I mean, in Diablo 4. I've kind of been focusing on the bone skills for myself. Just sort of, well, bones and summons. Resisting the urge to dip into shadow, but we may end up doing more of a shadow focused build this time because it's really easy to stack a lot of extra damage with shadow. Right click for bones. Oh, we took some damage there. Keep an eye on my health orb. I had it centered before and I moved it to the left to clear up the space down below, but I think with how close I am to my screen, it would be better for me to have my health right there where I can see it a little easier. It's looking down, is less looking away from my character. Alright, we're doing pretty good. I'm just gonna run to the end. And we're gonna do this just to finish. That way we can just clear ourselves through. What was that? Did they interrupt me? Maybe it was a lag spike. We're fine. We just got blasted or stunned or something. Every time my character stops or jerks in any kind of way, I get so paranoid because if we're gonna die, it's not gonna be something that we're gonna see coming. We're just gonna evaporate or something. That's why I'm being very cautious with been playing on normal on our way to 60, and then we're gonna scale really slowly through the difficulties so I don't end up accidentally overshooting and getting killed, or overestimating myself and getting killed. Really like Blood Mist. I hadn't really been utilizing it that much because my taskbar gets full quite easily, and when you're not playing on hardcore, it's not something I really get concerned with, having a panic button like Blood Mist. But now playing on hardcore, it's like, oh, I love that safety. Whoop, wrong button. I'm using WASD to move because I didn't want to left click because I didn't want to spend corpse explosion. Also forgetting that curse. Yeah, Andy's no big deal for us. We've taken her out consistently. I really wish that portal wouldn't jump open so quickly or that it would stay around a little bit longer. So we will just quickly pick up everything and then we're going to jump into that portal and then check out what we've got. Because this will be a nice chance to sanctify something. Fantastic. And it looks like we got a new hat. I can't imagine replacing the hat I currently have. Alright. So these chests, well, the hat. Basic skills, don't care. Let's compare real quick though. Yeah, not really that much better. Forgot to check the specs. I just immediately looked at the armor and the affixes. I mean, I looked at the armor and the aspect and I was not impressed. So I didn't even look at the affixes. If only we could wear it, eh? Although this isn't that super like great. While below 53% life, evade freezes enemies, which could be cute, and deals cold damage to them. It makes them vulnerable. It's cute, but we can't wear that. It is fun that I keep getting things I can't wear that have amazing rolls. I mean, there's a near max roll on the aspect. And then an undying bone weave. Well, that one's not near max, which is nice to, since we can't wear it. Skeleton warriors explode on death. My warriors don't die. Each time you bone storm, gain barrier, which would be cute, but we don't use bone storm. Max number of skeletons and mages. It'd be nice if we could wear these. And then the evade freezes again. Oh, cheeky little ring with a socket. Basic skills get attack speed. It does have percentage damage, but it doesn't have the vulnerability damage. The resistances aren't much better, and the affixes aren't super great. As much as I want this extra socket, we don't really have great gems anyway, so really just gonna keep the one we have. More damage, and everything else is just trash. So we're gonna get rid of all this.
Forge more than horseshoes and nails. We'll put those pieces to good use.
All right, and I'm considering something a bit, which might be a bit silly. I'm considering sanctifying the helmet in my inventory, because if I get a decent sanctify on it, then it will make it better to replace the one I'm wearing with. But I think that'd be silly. I think what I'll do is this time we'll sanctify the helmet itself, and then next time we'll sanctify the other helmet and see if we can beat it. Because if we get a really good sanctification on this helmet, like the Harlequin or, you know, any of the mythic ones really, then this helmet suddenly becomes exceptionally good because it has 2 sockets, decent stats. But let's up sanctify the one we're wearing first. New legendary power added. Oh boy. After being damaged for 20% of your maximum life, you become immune. That's pretty cool. Immune makes us immune to damage and unstoppable. Or damn near max roll. It's 3.8 seconds. Can only occur every 20 seconds, but that's essentially a get out of jail free card that will keep us alive. So this just became the instant best thing that we could possibly be wearing. But this is again a situation where if I had put that on the other helmet, it would have made the other helmet better than this one, and I would have had 2 sockets. I could have put another rune word in, but to be honest, I'm not going to go over all my runes, although we did get concussive stomp, the TISIC, I forget how to pronounce the TZ. Long story short, our other runes are not super impressive, so we're not really hurting to have a second rune word right now. I think I still will go through and use my next sanctify on this helmet to see if I can beat this one, or the previous one, the one we're wearing. But for now, we're just not going to stress it, and I think we go back into the Undercity. Oh, we can't leave dungeon, right? I think I put the teleport, yeah. Oh, that was kind of funny though that we ended up with one piece of jewelry and a bunch of things we couldn't wear. We only got one level as well. We can't really utilize anything to get bonus XP because we're not allowed to do potions or the other things. All right, so we should get to this lucky hit bonus on the curse. Oh, and speaking of the curse, need to move that to there. All right. So now I can worry less about not being able to move. I'm trying to decide if I want to swap these two. This targets, they both target the ground if there's nothing there, so I think they're equally as bad to have on left click. I really want to switch to using WASD, but I don't want to change up my playstyle. I only recently found out that you can actually use WASD if you enable it. But go for jewelry again. But I didn't want to change my playstyle and while doing this event. I very much prefer direct control over your character to the mouse clicking. Even though I've been playing Diablo since I was a kid, all the long years ago, still never really liked the movement style. It's also the reason why I never really got into MOBAs either. Because all the early MOBAs use that same style. Let's put this extra time since we're over here. I keep forgetting to curse. We should throw curses. We do extra damage to cursed enemies. Blood Mist gives me a little bit of move speed, so I will use it just to cover ground. Especially when I'm not paranoid about dying. I also use it to clear out large groups of enemies because it does deal damage. Not a ton of damage, our summons do way more. But it is just more damage that we can spread out. I think Corpse Tendrils is just a little too slow for me to really care much about. I think I'm going to leave it on the bar because it'll activate on it automatically because of the ring, but I'm just going to kind of ignore it. Oh, that one seemed like it went fast. Oh, was it struggling because I put the Bone Prison up? I don't know. I really need to spend some time in the wiki. Read. The problem is, like, the wiki, there's not really a good wiki that I've found breaking down the skills. It's pretty much all that efforts have been moved to websites. We're not going to do that this time. We'll just do floor 3. But have been moved to websites like Maxroll and the others like it, instead of having like a wiki that's just full of information. Because the only wikis that I've found are just literally just have the in-game tooltips and nothing else useful. Like no information, no specifics, just the in-game tooltips, which I already know. Because they're in-game. Quite annoying. Oh, I didn't need to come over here. Now that we're here. I flicker the map so that it doesn't stop me moving while I'm looking at it. In case you didn't know. So saying that you guys can finish that for me, right? I don't think we even needed it. Let's get out of here. We're out for the curse. God, your death animation is so long. That is a fountain of loot. I'm still picking up everything and salvaging so that I have extra materials to offer for tributes, but honestly at this point I feel like that's just wasted effort. Alright, quite a few things, lots of weapons. What do we got here? A legendary wand, each time Shadow Blight triggers, or what's that, Wand of Decay. I mean it's a decent roll, but I don't want to switch to Shadow build right after switching to Corpse. While Army of the Dead is active, the Unyielding Commanders, Rattling Bone, nah, we're good. Tidal Gargoyle Greatsword, so Blood Wave. Got a lot of crit strike damage, good life on hit. It would be nice, but we would be losing so much damage. Even though it says we get, you know, it would double our base, but our base is effectively getting doubled anyway by all the affixes on here. So what we need is not just a weapon that's just stronger, we need a weapon that's stronger and has relevant affixes. So the crit strike damage does look like it makes up for it, but as I mentioned earlier, we only have a base crit strike chance of 6%, and our rune word only brings it up to 31. So the overall DPS would actually be less with this greatsword. At least that's my estimation. Another Blood Wave one on this mace. And then we have a sickle, critical strike chance against injured enemies, and while healthy, reduce crowd control. Okay, so none of those are going to be replacements for our scythe. Torturous boots. Nothing exciting, just turns Iron Maiden into darkness. I'm going to look at the non-socketed ring first. Gain critical strike damage equal to a percentage of block chance. Our block chance isn't huge, so that wouldn't be a big bonus. Plus the affixes on it are not more damage. So unless we switched to the sword and shield, this is not going to be more damage. But if we switch to the sword and shield, I think this ends up being more damage. But it doesn't have the vulnerability damage. It doesn't have the damage because our block chance is alright. I wonder if that's taking into account that I have the skill. Because 30% would mean... Oh, it's critical strike damage, not flat damage. No, never mind. Alright, basic skills generate primary resource and deal increased damage for each point of primary resource I have. We are not using a basic skill, and we're not planning to anytime soon. What are the S fixes on it? Overpower damage. No, thank you. Yeah, so salvage fodder. Actually, let's teleport so that we can salvage. For those that don't know, you can use the escape dungeon in the Undercity, and it will take you just outside, and you'll be able to quickly go back in. So if you don't want to run over and salvage, which like I said, I'm doing just to make sure I get materials for whatever we need, whatever tributes we need them for. But yeah, if you're not doing that and you're just going and picking up the things that you need, or if you just throw everything in the stash, you can just exit and quickly get back over here. You know, some people don't seem to think that that's like, I don't see the benefit of that efficiency, but when you're running like 5 tributes at a time, the time you spend in between, especially when you're clearing the tributes quickly, the time you spend in between can easily be more time than the time you spend inside. So it's better to just pile all that up for the end, especially if you're with a group. It's very rude to make your group wait, especially if they're strangers. We're gonna keep going for jewelry. But yeah, strangers kind of expect you to be pretty efficient on those kind of things. So that being one of them. Mostly because like when you're grouping, they want to get that group activity done quickly so that they can go and waste time doing, you know, working with their build and tweaking items and stuff. So it's good to know the little ways that you can be a little more efficient. Oh, get away from that. A little more efficient while farming items and grouping with other players. So I did not want to curse on here. I did not want to be clicking around. I just need to hold. Click and hold and then use shift to throw curse. They're on the other side there. Just looking for these guys. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna not throw the corpse tendrils so that it's my bone storm and my bone storm and my blood mist get all the cooldown. What did I leave? Oh, I can't change skills anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna move the tendrils and put Decrepify back. And then I'm gonna probably put summon mages under my mouse. Maybe corpse explosion. Oh, I didn't click it. Click it. Ugh. I may even rebind mouse 1 to just be movement. Ooh, okay, these are spicy lads. Just get away from that completely. Oh. Button. Yeah, I think I'll put Corpse Explosion there so I can feel like I can do something. This is so weird not having like an active attack skill. Let's go ahead and do this. If I feel like this is going to finish the run, then I'll do it. Otherwise, I'll just go to floor 2 if I don't think this is going to complete it. Or floor 3, I mean, and finish there. Because this does take quite a bit of time, so I feel like it's only worth it if it finishes it for you. Which I keep underestimating how much it's going to give me. Or overestimating. But no big deal. Now we just need to do one thing on our way to the portal so we can just cruise and not stress going anywhere else. On button again. I keep left clicking when I'm into right, or hitting the 3 instead of 2. I'm thinking of this. That was just a hot dog pile right there. First of all, I'm not clicking. They're on 2 and 3. Second of all, it wasn't left, it was right. Anyway. Dyslexia, what are you gonna do? Hey, Andy. Prefer to find Andy. Just because if things get spicy, I feel like Andy's easier to fight than the other lady, whose name I don't even know. Alright, can we change our skills now? Okay. Purified Claw of Andariel. Lucky us, eh? Alright, let's do this. I think we want... Yeah, what did I say? Corpse Explosion there. Put Decrepify back there. And then we just don't right click. Or actually, I want that there. Because I was noticing my lads getting kind of weak, but that was mostly because I wasn't spawning corpses. But with the ring consuming corpses, actually, I need to make sure I manually use ray skeletons against bosses to heal my lads and keep them healthy. Another blighted wand. Sever no longer returns and instead splits into 3 specters that expand out from its apex and deals tons more damage. Huh. Interesting. The Sever would stack well with our ring. I think that's, well, it's definitely better than the random sword we had. So I will hold on to it, but I don't want to get rid of any of these skills on my bar. I guess I could just get rid of Corpse Tendrils. Like, I'm really underwhelmed by it, and it only triggers every 10 seconds. I feel like that's a waste on the bar. Especially since we have the Bone Prison to make things vulnerable anyway, which is much more consistent and flexible. So I will definitely consider switching over to Sever. Can't wear those. Just, I'm gonna stop going over every affix of every legendary item we find because they're essentially inconsequential at this point. So we'll just focus on basic skills, generate additional primary resource, and do increased damage for each primary resource. It does have move speed. It's damage, but it's gonna take a lot for me to want to get rid of the Undying aspect. Pretty much going to need to find another Undying item in order for me to consider getting rid of that. Alright, let's go salvage and then come back. Actually, let's go into the training room and see how buff Sever gets and how our skeletons maintain their damage if we switch to that option. All right, get in there. So we would put this back there and put Sever here. So you can see our lads are just doing a modest amount of damage. See 300, near 300 pop up every once in a while.
I'm fine.
It looks like their damage is definitely diminished a little bit. Still see 300 every once in a while. I'm looking at the smaller numbers, 40 to 50. It's this one. I think we're more consistently seeing larger numbers. Yeah, so the lads do far more damage when I have the scythe equipped. But here is the real deciding factor. How much does Sever do? Oh, I need the lads to go away. Hold on. Well, it dumps all my essence. It does deal more damage.
I lack the required essence.
I think I'm just going to continue to rely on the lads. Because we're not coming across issues with defenses necessarily. And the lads are doing a fantastic job. So we're not going to use Sever. I think I want to leave the bones off, or the my brain. No, I'm literally having a meltdown. What was I thinking? Take off Sever. Not move the summon skeletons back, and instead maybe we, now that we have room for it, we pick up an ult just for a little while to see how it mixes in. I kind of should feel like I should just get Bone Spirit back though, since I'm not really using my essence, and I quite like Bone Spirit as a panic button. So let's take all the points out of Corpse Explosion and move them back into Bone Spirit. It's additional critical strike chance. I think I want the additional critical strike chance. Well, actually, no, I do have problems regaining my essence, so we do want that. Alright. We need more lads, though. Damn it. Freaking ring detonated all the corpses I made. Come on, guys. Pick me up. A little faster. Alright, there we go. So I'll still hold on to that dagger in case we decide we need the defenses. Because that would be the reason to switch. It wouldn't be a terrible option if we were just worried about defenses. Which I probably should be, but we'll do the rest of these tributes and then decide. Still trying to get a new ring. Alright, I'm gonna bang these next two out pretty quickly. We're gonna just pick up the legendaries and then bounce and then do them really quickly back to back. Running, 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 running. Where'd the bones go? I didn't see them pop up. Oh. They have not pushed it? Come on, let's do a little bit better of a job. That's cute. Corpse Explosion boosty. Or title, I mean, not boost. When I'm focused on things, my brain tends to run on automatic. And quite often, can't trust that bastard with anything. Especially words. Alright. Oof. Some lag spikes. Oh, I didn't hit it. Damn it. This is trying to corpse explosion. Stop it. Prioritize the click, not the attack. Doing it again. I need to... I might just, like I said, move left click skill off of left click. I did have force move mapped to W, so I'm just going to use that for now. It's not the skill I tried to use. Ugh. It already feels better. Alright, this time we should be able to finish with this. Greater Spirit Beacon, I think it's called. There we go. Very nice. So we go straight to the end. We're done here. Not interested in hunting for goblin. Oh, so straight to the end. Oh, this lag is brutal. It's making me extremely paranoid. I'd really like to get the curse aura aspect. Free up a slot for me. I'm so used to playing with it, that's why I just run and I don't throw curses. Even though I should be. Yeah, this is a much better build. Skills are coming up very quickly because of the lads, and I don't even think we have the boost for curse yet. Or by that I mean the where it gives you cooldown. Alright, so we're just gonna pick up the stuff and get out of here. Oh, I didn't need to pick up those boots. I'm just gonna jump right back in and then we'll check our what we found after that. Man, leveling up is so much slower without the boosties. Alright, how long is this going to be active for? An hour? Okay, we'll do that. Oh, we missed the world boss. Just realized the time. Oh well, I didn't really want to do it anyway. What do we have? Did we get some jewelry? We did. And I'm going to do weapons for this one. So now we're getting to the point where I really do want to find a new weapon. Oh, I meant to move my skills around a little bit. Fine. Where did that skull go? What the hell? Wayward spirit. That was better. How did we not finish? Come on. Yeah, moving with force move is just so much more consistent. I did not mean to do that. I mean, that's what I absolutely was thinking about when I pushed that button, but now I realize how foolish it was. Does not deal a lot of damage. I don't really need the time, we just need the... What are they called? Spirit totem things? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I just click buttons and move around. Should be cursing more. Force exploding more. That was scary. This will finish us off, although really I still don't know for sure if it's actually worth the time. I forgot to throw out the bone prison. Holding down W seems to have like short-circuited my brain And it's like, as bad as I was playing before, I'm playing even worse now. I think I want to just move my skill off of left click. Oh, what am I doing? We don't need to be here. Yeah, those chains, I guess, just count as crowd control, so if you use a skill that ignores crowd control, you can get through them. Or get away from them.
Forgive you, child.
Very sweet. Thank you. Alright, Strider's leggings, really? We got a hail item? Terrible item? Corpse of an item? With nothing going on? Absolutely. So pick up this ring we don't need. I guess we can just check out what we got going on here, since we didn't get the Sanctify. Let's just go ahead and throw, well, I don't need to throw it on the ground. Salvage it. Salvage. If you want to see what they were, just pause the video. Oh, another hat with 21% damage reduction and 1 socket, sadly. Does have extra armor per second, match life intelligence. I would like to wear this, but the free legendary aspect we got, kind of good. But I will hold on to this hat, and after we try sanctifying our 2 socket hat, we might try sanctifying this one. We probably will. Alright, so 2-handed weapon, 2 sockets. When you dodge or block an attack, you trigger thorns. Interesting to be on a 2-handed weapon. So the aspect is terrible, but we're starting to approach undeniable levels of damage boosting. It does have flat damage boost on it. I think our scythe is still, because of that we have so many minions and it's boosting their damage up so much, I think our scythe is still better than this. I go to the training ground and chest it out. Corpse tendrils, no thank you. Corpse tendrils, no thank you. Core skills, bleh. Crit strike, but it is a one-handed sword. Crit strike damage, crit strike damage. We don't do a lot of crit strike. I would rather see vulnerable damage. I think our this dagger with its sever boost, I don't know. I mean, like, would help us finish enemies. Because it also, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. This 18% crit chance against injured enemies will allow our skeletons to finish enemies quicker by getting more consistent access to what will become something like almost 90% crit strike damage boost. But we would lose our rune word. We lose the rune word, so no, I'll hold on to it. Gain increased critical strike damage equal to my block chance. I mean, it's on a flail, so we can actually utilize it. Also has a lot of vulnerability damage and damage. I think I'm going to make this. No, we're gonna hold off. I really want to hold off until I sanctify the 2-socket hat, so I don't lose access to the rune word. That now is what we're holding out for, because I think everything else is gonna end up being decent enough, but don't know. Anywho, core skills. What am I looking for in a ring? Well, first of all, I really want a socket, so let's look at the non-socketed jewelry. Core skills, overpower, we don't really care for that. overpower course when core skills overpower. I'm just reading keywords. Basic skills grant damage reduction. Okay. Now we're talking. It's also got physical resistance and move speed. And I don't, as much as I like Undying, I don't like it on my amulet. Sorry, I've gone silent, but I'm trying to think about... Well, it's also not got a socket. What's the other one? Every 5 seconds, next score kill costs life is the primary resource. Isn't the worst thing in the world. Extra 100, it basically means double damage on a skill, but we're not really activating skills. I mean, we do activate the spirit. We have 185 life, so that would mean that every 5 seconds our bone spirit is a massive nuke. I have to consider that one too. But this one I think we're just no, because I don't want to switch to a basic skill. Alright, the rings. Shadow Blight, that's a maybe. It's also got vulnerability damage and some crit strike chance. So it'd be an okay upgrade if we switch to Shadow Blight. Right now we have the summons. So if we switch our weapon out, I think we want to do this. So this is actually looking like we're building something here. Sacrifice bonuses are increased. We only have one sacrifice bonus that we're using. I had considered getting rid of all of my skeletons as well, but the reason why I decided not to is because they tank for me, which is really important. And they also deal passive damage while I'm running around scared, which is nice. Like, they're attacking while I'm blood misting, which is a big thing. Gain increased critical strike, equal block chance. So none of these are super exciting except for this one. Actually, here's what I really should consider. This is not boosting my damage necessarily in any kind of way. It's giving me some move speed, some lucky hit chance, and it's keeping my lads healthy so I don't have to think about it. But I'm really not enjoying Corpse Explosion. I just constantly think, like, I don't think I'm built right for it. I think I need more abilities that generate corpses. And it's also only level 35. Didn't this amulet have move speed? No, it didn't. It was the one that I decided not to take. We may do a complete overhaul here. So we got the Shadow Blight. How can we... And we're going to get onto block. There's more crit strike here, damage over time bonus, because we're going to start using corruption. We do have a sacrifice bonus. We've sacrificed our golem for attacks, the bone golem for attack speed. Mostly because we weren't worried about dying for a while. I mean, we are constantly worried about dying, but we weren't stressed about it. Could sacrifice the iron golem for crit strike damage. Get some more, but we don't have a lot as our base. But probably should just sacrifice the blood golem. Is it 34% of fix on that, or aspect? 34%. No, that's that one. 36%. So that would be... extra 7.2%. I don't think that's worth it. If we were sacrificing everything so that we could, then maybe, but I'm not willing to give up the lads. So you're out, and I think we have our new setup with I really don't want to give up the immunity though. Like, that's a really strong. Do we just go without a rune word for a while? So I've pretty much given up on that sword. Could do Sever, but I don't want to do Sever with Bone Spirit. I think I want to use the Mace for the extra vulnerable damage. Oh, this one gets the block chance. Okay, so I guess we just keep the ring then. Gain critical strike damage, gain critical strike damage. Yeah, they're the same. Gives me life on hit, but do I have life on hit? What is that negative here? Potion drop bonus. Oh, I don't care about that. It's because we're here, I think, too. Life on hit. That's what I was looking for. Only 6. Where's it from? Oh, the amulet we're about to give up. Huh. That's concerning. And the sword was crit strike damage. Increased crit strike chance against injured enemies. And this would give me more crit strike damage. More impactful crits, but less consistent. And in general, we're losing access to our rune word, which is the big thing. I don't want to keep pushing this decision down the road. All right, let's go to the training dummy and sort this out. Oh, hold on. You'd figure with less gear, we'd have less decisions to make, but it makes each decision so much more impactful. Alright, get in there, lads. Do your thing. Alright, and that's without me doing anything. What is our peak with the corpse explosion? Or the spirit? 588. Let's see if we can get a crit on it. Sorry for having to wait, but this is how you figure this stuff out. Doing less damage. I really want to see a crit, but alright, 700. Not super impressive. We'll also get 3 sockets on our jewelry, which will be nice for defenses. I think we're making the switch. I'm not even gonna hesitate any longer. Those numbers on the explosion were quite suppressing. Take that one. Take this one. I would rather have the immunity and not have a rune word. We will just give up our crit strike chance. 900. So it's just flat out more consistent with the bone spirit. We also are going to be switching to Shadow Blight and some other things. I'm just testing the weapons right now. We'll change the build over. Yeah. Alright. Now, I think I'm going to end up switching to the flail because it offers a lot more vulnerability damage and we can consistently make enemies vulnerable, but I want to see how different it is. Still 900. Still 1800. Well, if it's about the same, then I think I'll take the vulnerability damage to assist the lads. But let's go ahead and let's see how the lads do. I need lads though. I don't have any lads. Anything else to generate corpses with right now? They really help my cooldowns. Nope, wrong button. Alright. So the lads have now gone to doing significantly less overall damage. But against vulnerable cursed targets, they do about the same. So that's not so bad. Could be worse. But I cannot rely on them to be doing a lot of stuff, which means I'm going to need a secondary skill that does damage as well. We'll probably go back to bone splinters. But there is something I can test. Oh, let me test how their damage looks with the sword. Crit numbers are larger, but I think they're about the same as how often we're seeing them. Stop. Curse explode. Corpse exploding. Yeah, I think it's about the same. The crit numbers are obviously a little bit larger, but meh. And now the dagger. I want to see how the dagger does, as I might decide to use Sever. So we're not seeing the peaks on crits, but the majority of the damage is similar. I mean, that 496 pretty much matched the largest number I saw last time. My damage is pretty much like all three of these seem to be doing around the same amount. And if that's the case, let's see what it looks like when we do Sever. So we're getting rid of Corpse Explosion completely. Putting Sever on. Every third cast Sever casts Fear Invulnerable. Increases for each minion. And spawns. Yeah, we want that one. We aren't constantly consuming corpses, but I will go back to manually casting my Shadow Mage. So we will get that boost every once in a while. So I will leave those there. We don't really need the points elsewhere right now. Now, the dagger was the Sever dagger, right? Yes. Okay. So, how are we doing here? The lads are doing reduced damage. Quite reduced. Alright, let's drop the lads. I need to look at Sever's damage. It's not super great. And if I'm using my essence, my corpse explosion is not going to be super strong.
Wired essence.
But this would be good for clearing, and this would be good for bosses. I'm gonna let my essence fill up. Try it out again. My essence recharges so slowly.
lack the
That's
required
still
essence.
doing the right amount. I think I'm just not gonna have enough essence to make use of Sever. I don't know, we'll try. I think we'll run around and experiment with it for a little bit in the field. See how we're doing. And I'll hold on to I think I like the flail more than the sword. Because the vulnerability damage is going to be more consistent. I don't even really care what the aspect is, but long story short, I think we're still looking for a new weapon. But we have increased our damage enough. I mean, when it really comes down to it, how much... We're not doing that much less damage with the scythe. And these guys just do so much more damage without me having to really... I think we just stick with the scythe. Like, I want the extra defenses, but it's not really going to be super useful. Oh, I forgot about the core skill, costing life and doing extra damage. Did we trigger that at all? I guess with Bone Spirit that doesn't happen. Oh, it is. Our life is going down. Okay. Then we have the Shadow Blight to consider, which is going to be probably our primary source of damage. We get increased, a little bit of increased crit strike because I think we do have block chance even though we don't have a shield, right? Yeah, we do have 10% block chance, so we are getting a little bit. Not a lot. I think I'm going to go back to the ring though and just use it just to have the lazy summon of the priest, because this is, we're not really switching to the shield right now. I'll hold on to it because if we find a better setup, a better weapon or a better shield, it might be worth switching over. But 30%, like, no, we want the Shadow Blight passive. We want this. So these are good. It's gone. Alright, that's what we're going to settle on for now. Cool. Well then. Where are we at? I think we'll run out and go do the Whisper Keys. Let's go salvage. Oh, hold on. Do not want Sever. Reap increases my damage reduction. Hitting the same enemy with at least 3 times the same cast of Bone Splinters gives increased critical strike chance for 4 seconds. It's not easy to do that, as we can get the chance to execute enemies. Yeah, I think we'll just go with Reap for now. And oh yeah, we want to get the chance to reduce cooldowns. It's not a lot, but or maybe the execute will actually be better, because the cooldown chance is not significant. The thing is though, is it'll help me reduce cooldowns All right, well, let's see. To actually do it. I wouldn't say I'm noticing a lot of cooldown reduction. I'd say it's about the same. I don't think we're triggering it enough with our low lucky hit chance. So I'm just gonna give them the ability to execute enemies. And attack speed, increased damage. What do you mean he's die? Blah blah blah. Our attack speed takes a huge hit there. What does this do again? Like if it hits with Shadow Likey passive, increase damage for each hit, resetting after 6 seconds. See, the thing is, the reason why I've been avoiding doing Shadow Blade is because I don't have any corruption bonus or shadow damage bonus. But every 8th time and receive shadow damage from you while they are affected by Shadow Blade, they take additional damage. We don't do shadow damage. Except I do now with Reap. Do I go back to using Blight maybe? I'm not sure. I like the big nuke with the Bone Spirit way more. The mages do shadow damage. Maybe that alone will be enough to make it worth it. We'll just switch them over to firing additional bolts. And this also means I can pick up those shadow passives. I mean, I'm just gonna have to test it. We will get more movement speed though. Alright, we're just gonna go with this. We'll see how we do. Sorry for taking forever to do that. I'll have to remember to go back and add a chapter in there, so people can skip all this if they don't want to watch me do the brainstorming. I'm going to hold on to quite a few of those items still, though. We might end up using them. We might do a switch. But for now, I think the extra summon... This is the thing though, is I feel like Shadow Blight's not the way to go if we're still using the summon. Alright, I'm just gonna do it, and then we'll see how it works out. And we'll consider going back. I really need new weapons though. I wish my keys had given me better stuff. We had new sockets, there's that. Go ahead and throw that in there, and yes, all resistance. We don't really have. I should have kept that skull. Would really like to get a ruby. You know what? I'm gonna actually double down on the poison resistance. Oh, that's the other thing to consider. If we get rid of the scythe, we lose a lot of resistances. I think we're just stuck with the scythe until we get a much better weapon. Alright, let's go roam around the Telhide and see how we're doing. Oh, it's about to go away. Oh, no, forget Helltide. First of all, did we get enough corrupt claws to open a chest? We did not. So, instead, what am I opening? Oh, keys. Let's go do this. Yes, go. Jeez. Left click, left click, left click, wouldn't click. I forgot that there was a reason I didn't like Blight. I do like skill shots, but I didn't have to think at all when I was using the lag. Ooh. I got hit for damage. I used to get hit for damage. I think the main reason I'm going to want to switch, is I just want my lads to deal more damage. And Bone Spirit is basically the only skill. Like, I want to be running around casting Decrepify and Bone Spirit more, not thinking about landing Blight shots. Yeah, we are definitely switching back. So all of that was basically worthless because I'm still on the same build that I was already on. Fantastic. I will keep Reap though, because of the damage reduction. No, I need the essence to come back so that I can cast it again. And we will pick back up Serration and do a little bit of that. What was that again? Revulsion. And the insta killing is okay. And attack speed fine. Alright, we're good. I'm back to enjoying my left click, so I don't ever have to stop it and just run around and shift to throw Reap. Yeah, I like this. Did I change the yeah, we changed that. Okay, yeah. Just let the lads, trust in the lads. That's, I should have just known from the start. Trust in the lads. The lads will prevail. Provide something. Swiftness. All right, let's take that faster ritual completion. So we tend to kill enemies pretty quickly. I think I've made the right choices to go back. I don't think Bone Spirit is actually. Oh, no, don't die. The lag scares the crap out of me. I know I am once again questioning everything. Alright, let's get down here to this other pillar. This. Not getting that. Oh, they killed him quickly. Oh. No activity keys, just a hat. Not a good hat either. Yeah, the lads are just doing so much more damage. Trust in lads. My damage is pathetic though. I'm mostly just throwing it out to have something to do. Curse is really what I should be doing. Hit the curse on larger groups of enemies, hit the bone spirit on elites. Don't spam the curse because I don't want to use all my energy. I definitely execute elites whenever I get the chance. Of course, with the Crepify, we're already executing. I wonder if those executes stack or interact in any way. Oh, hello. Oh, heckin' spiders with their goo. It's actually a pretty dangerous area. Ranged attackers and slow. See, like I said, dangerous area. Sapphire. We're still not finding decent gems. Like, this game's so stingy with the gemstones. Sapphire. Just letting the lads do their work. Basically on a pretty passive build right now. Just gotta make sure we don't die. Nothing. Just a bunch of rocks we can't use. I think I do want bone splinters back, so I have to get near enemies. No, I'll keep the damage reduction. What happens whenever I swing it? Yeah, whenever I swing it, I get the damage reduction. But I am starting to realize that there's something I want more than Bone Spirit. Okay, get away from that. I gotta remember I have a dodge button. I don't ever use it. Oh. I want my lad. And we will take the blood lad. He's going to give us a 30% damage reduction. Because he's going to just absorb some of the damage we take. We'll take the lad over the bone. Look at the blobby boy. Love him. It's fantastic. Get rid of this bone nonsense. And instead, invigorate the lad. There we go. Look at that. We have a nice 25% crit strike chance, which pops up to... Oh, wrong button. Just completely miss it. Should leave this open. Boom, 50%. We really need to get some extra crit strike bonuses, but having them crit for half the time, I think this is actually the build we should be using. Now look at that. Still dealing plenty of damage. Starting to get worried about our defenses a lot more though. So we are taking so much damage. Ugh. The shield. Increased shadow damage to enemies afflicted by curse. Cute. This has a frenzied dead though. I'd rather have the frenzied dead. It's so hard to give up that 300 intelligence though. Well, let's sanctify something we're actually using. Well, I don't have a core skill at all that I'm... What's this do? Blood Lance. No thanks. Oh, it's got +1 Hellbent Commander though. We're not using a core skill anymore, and we really don't need that 4% crit strike chance. Which one's Hellbent Commander? Summon damage. 10% more summon damage. And we don't have a core skill. So we're not getting any use out of the other one. Oh. Project Cash. Mace, wand, gloves. Basic stills increase the next core skill, which we don't use. Consecutive hits with shadow blights. Blah 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 blah. Also overpower damage. Cute. Ugh. Forgot to switch those. That'll help. Alright, now that we have a build that we're more decided on, which of these is going to be the weapon? Well, it's definitely not going to be that. I don't do overpower damage. The aspect is irrelevant. Does have life on hit. Hold on. Second hits with shadow blights. Power damage. More vulnerability damage. Increased crit strike equal to block chance. I mean, that's what our ring does. So we don't need that. But the more of a... Life on kill damage, crit strike damage, close damage. That's a lot of different damage types. So even though the aspect isn't good on this on the dagger. Oh, the bonk does more damage. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna junk, junk, junk. Life on kill versus damage reduction and cooldown reduction. That has damage reduction as well. Healing receive, max life, intelligence, but the minion attack speed is the big one. And then this is just silly. It's cute. Yeah, I don't care about this jewelry anymore. I'd rather have the life on hit keep us healthy. Our lads can keep us healthy with that. What does he do? It's unstoppable and drains the blood of enemies in an area, dealing damage and healing. And received is tripled, and damage is increased by a bunch. If only one enemy is drained and I become unstoppable, my skeletons will prioritize the target attack, and when he dies, it respawns, blah blah blah. So this is actually, I think, pretty solid for us. I'm gonna hold on to the scythe because I'm still attached to it. Everything else gets shredded. We have an extra skill point to spend. Actually, now I feel silly. We're gonna get rid of most of Reap. We still need to spend a point on it. Volatile skeletons. Bone Storm does damage over 10 seconds. It's not a lot of damage for to deal it over 10 seconds. This is stunning. Only 7 seconds. Lasts for 7 seconds. Tidal Wave of Blood. I think the Tidal Wave of Blood is going to be the one. It's just a big button I can smash every once in a while, and it passively cools down. And it's damage reduction for 10 seconds. Leaves blood orbs. It's not really super important. What do these do? Spells, they have a chance to leave behind a corpse. Also raises my skeleton warriors and mages if they fall down. That actually. Damage reduction is increased while Bone Storm is active. My critical strike chance and attack speed are increased while Bone Storm is active. Critical strike chance is pretty good. We already have decent critical strike chance though. But this will also open us up for if we get the barrier. I'm just like returning to my regular build. Alright. I'm going to use the blood wave because I haven't.
I cannot do that here.
Trying to decide if I'm gonna be okay with this on. No, you know what we'll do?
Not while I'm in town.
No. Yeah, do it like that. That way I don't accidentally use it. Alright, what are we gonna sanctify? Oh, I think we just sanctify the weapon and hope that it gets something nice. God of damage. God. Alright. Did not make anywhere near as much progress as I was hoping we would. I think I just need to go to the hell type. I'm so paranoid about dying.
I cannot do that here.
All right, let's go for a little. Let's go to the Helltide and see if we can get to level 50 quickly. Because I'm out of keys. Wow, that's a large Helltide. Cool. Thinking about stopping, but to be honest, just run through this giant Helltide for a bit. See how far we get. It'll be a longer video, but you know what? Big will.
Stranger, could you spare a moment?
Nope, cannot talk to people. Go away. squished that parasite. Oh, this lag is wild. It's the reason why I'm so awful, or not awful. My brain is picking words. Blech. Oh my god. This is the reason why I try not to. Not try not to. I'm worried about health heights, is because the lag is way worse out here. For whatever reason, I have all my graphics settings turned down. I'm looking over at my computer. It's not a graphics issue. Graphics card's doing fine. I really think it's just either my operating system. I really think it's the operating system. And probably the fact this game is terribly optimized like most games. Oh my god, I can barely play like this. Gripe. Sorry for the whining. Because I know without a doubt that that's going to be how I die. Lagging. Oh. Chest. Ow, what hit me? Oh, gammy crap. Some random stuff. Let me turn up the music. Let's do this. Don't like that options covers everything. Let's do some music for a little while. Oh, god damn it. There we go. Ugh,
Even if
and lag. Only this game was available offline, and I would know for sure what's wrong with it. If it was me or them. Not a huge fan of some of these activities. They just take forever and don't really deliver a lot of enemies. At least the reward is, you know, a resplendent chest. Which drops nothing. Oh, that's just the symbol for the Helltide. Gotcha. Rude. I wish you would just prioritize the interaction. I like the crowd control of the Blood Wave, but I think I'm gonna go to Bone Storm. Just because when I'm running around like a goober, it'll do more damage. Yeah, without the lag here, he's not getting boosted health, so it'll be much easier. Gotta be careful when other people are around. Keep that in mind, especially when they're low level like that. He's only level 10, or he was level 8 when the fight started, and he just was not providing his part of the damage. Wow. Complete trash, not worth anything. Ugh. Oh, yeah. Get rid of the Blood Wave. Bring the Bone Storm. We now have returned to the build. Oh, what are these? Why are these on the ground? Or in my pocket? All right. Field, yeah. Gem strength. Alright, I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world, but I would have preferred that on one of my rings. Still, like I said, not the worst thing in the world. Oh, I forgot. We actually don't have that huge intelligence boost anymore. I can take advantage of some topazes, which brings up. Wait, hold on, 29.1 versus 22. No, I'll take the healing received. Cool. Only got one level so far. So it is going to be much larger of a grind than I thought. And to be honest, doing that, being kind of quiet for a change, is quite peaceful, quite relaxing. Enjoying the music louder. I'll have to play back and see how it does with my voice. Might need to raise my voice up a bit. But I think for the next run, I'm just going to run around, with minimal commentary and just grind. Because running at the mouth, believe it or not, it's quite taxing. And yeah, I need to get to 60. I need to get to 60 today so that I can decide how to proceed further. Like, let's just look at it this way. When I get to 60, I need to start grinding out a build so that I can get to Torment 1. That I could potentially do tomorrow or after I get to 60. we'll have to see. We'll start rising the difficulties once I get to 60 to see how we handle them. But right now we're still on normal and we're getting beat up. And we need to at least make it to Torment 1 in order to score points. So worst case scenario, let's say it takes me all day today to get to 60. Then tomorrow is going to be all day trying to get to Torment 1, if I'm lucky. If I can get to Torment 1. Then Thursday, because I don't have as much time to play on Wednesday, Thursday would be, if I'm lucky, Torment 2. Friday, if I'm lucky, Torment 3. And then I don't have a lot of time to play on Saturday and Sunday. So if climbing the difficulties is as challenging as just getting to level 60, I don't even have a chance to make to Torment 4. I don't think so. And that's assuming I can figure out some kind of a build where I don't get liquefied immediately. And I don't think that is the case. I think the best we can hope for is Torment 2. I think Torment 3 is asking too much. I think Torment 2 would be alright. Did my graphics settings go back to what they were? Because I was taking some pictures. No. They're all low. Why is ray tracing on? I've never turned on ray tracing. That may actually be part of the problem. Let's see. Ugh. I think it might explode. But while this panics in the background, I think I need to just focus on getting to Torment 1 and doing as much in Torment 1 as I can. Which means I really need to get to level 60 today, because at the rate I'm going, yeah, I think my game just crashed. Quite nice. My system feels like it's seizing up. The other option is I install Linux today, and then hopefully play tomorrow, because that's the other thing, is I was trying to figure out if I have time to install Linux and get everything set up, because this is just driving me freaking crazy. Like, look at this. All I was doing was turning off ray tracing. Why is my entire system crashing? All right, you done? You good? We okay? Oh. See how if that helps out next time. I'm actually going to take everything to low quality. I'll do that after I log out. Put everything as low quality as possible to see if that solves any of the lag. Alright, well, long story short, should zoom in so you can get a nice look at the lady. And the bony lads. And Subo over there. I like Subo. It's fun. So long story short, the next episode might be a bit, probably won't be longer, because what I'm doing is basically just recording in between the sections in between taking breaks, and using that as a point to cut and upload. So I'm gonna go take a break. Yes, Subo, thank you. I was just, you heard me talk about him. I'm gonna take a break, do some shopping, pick up some things from the store, and then while I upload this, and when I come back, we're going to go just swim the hell tides and try and level up. Hopefully we'll be able to get equipment as we go. Probably will avoid Duriel and just collect the hearts. I really wish there was a bit you could see those somewhere else in your inventory besides just the icon on the Helltide, so you can keep track of them a little easier, but there's always a Helltide. And then figure it out from there, I guess. We'll probably, maybe I'll do Whisper Dungeons instead. Those might be safer than the Helltide. And they are a pretty good source of experience and equipment, because we're getting terrible equipment from that. Well, we didn't really spend a lot of cinders, but fighting Duriel was not really worth it. I'll figure it out. But for now, that's going to be it. And yeah, thank you for watching. Oh, like I said, I don't know if I was quite clear on this or not. So my next video is going to be very minimal commentary as we just get into a grind. So if that's not your thing, then maybe you don't watch the next episode. I would understand. But if you find me quite annoying, perhaps you might enjoy that more. We'll see. Either way, just wanted to give you a fair warning. So yeah, that's going to be it for now. And I'll be back tomorrow. Well, later. Not tomorrow. Later.